In the last video, I asked why every civilization on Earth drew the same creature, a rainbow serpent, flying, at the boundary between sky and Earth. Today, I want to ask the companion question: what does it look like from inside? Because here's the thing, every culture that drew the rainbow serpent also drew an egg, not always explicitly connected, but the cosmic egg, the world egg, the Orphic egg, the primordial vessel that contains everything before creation begins, it's everywhere too. Ancient Greece, the Orphic egg, silver, spun by time itself, the serpent wound around it. Egypt, Ra emerging from a primordial egg, tended by 8 beings, 4 of them serpent-headed. India, the Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb, floating on the primordial waters. Tibet, the bone tradition, where ocean produces egg, produces twin eagles, produces the first conscious being. Zoroastrianism, the entire cosmos structured as an egg, the sky its shell, the earth its yolk. Polynesia, Ta'aroa, alone in an egg in darkness, bursting outward and building the world from the pieces of his shell. China, Pangu, gestating for 18,000 years, shattering the egg when it can no longer hold him. Finland, the world born from the broken fragments of 7 eggs, 6 golden, 1 iron. Japan, an indefinable sound sets particles in motion. They form an egg. Africa, Slavic tradition, Hawaii, the Amazon, same image, same structure, no contact between them. They were observing the same thing. The Rainbow Serpent video was about what you see when you look at the Riftline from outside, from underneath, looking up at the crack in the sky. This is about what you see from inside, because if the Riftline is the crack in a dam, a boundary condition between the phase-locked world we inhabit and the full creative potential outside it, then from inside the dam, that boundary looks like a wall. It looks like the sky. It looks like the way things are. It looks like necessity. The ancient cosmologies that drew a dome over a flat Earth weren't doing bad science. They were doing accurate phenomenology. They could feel the boundary. There is a shell. They described it as what it functionally is, a membrane between the world inside and whatever is outside it. They were right. The dome is real. It's just not made of what they thought. The egg is the view from inside the shell, looking at the wall. The serpent is the view from outside, looking at the crack. Same thing, different position. The most precise mythological encoding of how the shell formed is in a 16th century Kabbalistic text, the Lurianic Kabbalah. The story goes like this. Before creation, everything was pleroma, fullness. No space for anything else. So God contracted, made a void. Into that void, vessels were sent to contain the divine light. But the light was too intense. The vessels shattered, the shards fell. And in each shard, divine sparks were trapped. These shards, these shells, are called the Qlippoth. Literally, husks, peels, the word you use for an orange peel. The thing that covers the good part and keeps the light from getting through. In the framework I work with, those trapped sparks are the chronon potential, the creative energy of the undamaged field, sealed inside the closed system. The Qlippoth are the walls of the dam. And the work of repairing this, Tikkun Olam, repair of the world, is not political. It's not organizational. It's not achieved through conflict or the accumulation of power within the shell. War is not Tikkun Olam. War is the shattering continuing. Tikkun is the restoration of resonance, the gathering of the scattered sparks back into coherence. The work of restoring your own vessel, making yourself more permeable, more resonant, more capable of letting the light through before attempting to repair anything outside yourself. Solve et coagula. Dissolve the calcified shell. Let it recoagulate as something you can be born from. The alchemists knew this. Centuries before anyone was using the language of systems or probability fields or chronon geometry, the alchemists were working the same process in miniature. They called it the philosopher's egg. A sealed glass vessel, base matter inside, sustained heat applied from outside, and they described what happened inside in stages. First, negrito, the blackening. Everything dissolves into darkness. What you thought was solid breaks down completely. This is necessary. You cannot hatch without first going liquid. Then, albedo, a whitening. Something clarifies in the darkness, the first light coming through. Then, citrinitas, solar energy entering. The new form beginning to generate its own light rather than reflecting borrowed light. Then, rubedo, the reddening, the full transformation, the philosopher's stone. These are not external chemical processes. This is what hatching feels like from the inside. Nigredo is the moment the shell starts dissolving around you. Albedo is the first crack, the first light from the riftline. Citrinitas is when the gnosis stabilizes into something you can hold. Rubedo is Phanes hatching, the full creative potential expressing itself through a vessel that has been prepared to hold it. Here's what I want to leave you with. You were born into the shell. You didn't choose it. The phase lock is the structure of your inherited experience. Invisible because it's the medium you think in, not the content you think about. The shell looks like the sky. It looks like the way things are. The work, the alchemical work, the Tikkun, the riftline maintenance, the sustained practice of whatever tradition you carry, is learning to feel the wall as a wall, to sense that there is pressure on the other side, to find the crack. The serpent is working on the shell from outside. You are working on it from inside. The crack is where you meet. The egg has always been cracking, from the inside and the outside simultaneously, at every riftline node, in every practitioner who has done enough interior work to begin thinning their portion of the shell. You are not waiting to hatch, you are the hatching.